Hi guys, so today I wanted to cover the material for analysis in Chapter 12 of the Dressmaker, and as usual we'll be focusing our analysis on how it can be compared to the Crucible, though that being said, because it's such a short chapter, there will be minimal, if any, comparison with the Crucible for this chapter. So, just a quick summary of Chapter 12. Gertrude and Muriel get Tilly to make Gertrude's wedding dress. We see Tilly working on the dress despite Molly distracting her and hurting her. We see Teddy continue to simp for Tilly, and we see Tilly get really, really angsty. So it's a short chapter, and that's good news because there's no material for analysis, so hopefully this is going to be a short video. I said that about the last one, but I just talked to myself for like 20 minutes. I'm fine, you guys. I'm fine. I'm really fine.
Walk out the door, you see someone that you know and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Anyway, so when Muriel and Gertrude get Tilly to make the wedding dress, it's an acknowledgement of her skills. So thus far in the text, everyone seems to kind of look down on Tilly, and they gossip about her, and basically they're just all-round nasty because she doesn't seem to add anything valuable to their lives. But now that she has a skill to offer them, we see things kind of turn around for her in this section of the novel. Now we also see that Gertrude really likes the wedding dress that they were looking at in a magazine, which was described with words like unremarkable. So it's basically an allusion to Gertrude having terrible taste. Though I wouldn't call it terrible, I would say it's very bland taste. So that's kind of that's just the subtext of it. Once again, it should have been clear, but just in case it wasn't, I'm just making it more clear. So, we also see that Hamish complained about the new diesel trains always being late. We've already talked about this. It's a representation of his selfishness and his kind of romantic, obsessive attachment to this idea of an idyllic country town. Now, there is also this tiny implication of Ruth going through people's packages at Christmas time, presumably, you know, snooping around people's gifts, because they say that the mail service is so slow around Christmas time. Okay. So, once again, there isn't much material for analysis in this chapter. It's really just a lot of subtext. So we see Teddy and Tilly speculating about, you know, Gertrude's wedding, and they say that William made a very hasty decision, and William asks, "So you think Gertrude needs her dress as soon as possible?" That's just code for, is she pregnant?
Am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? Am I pargant? Am I gregnant? Am I pegnate? Help? Is there a possibility that I'm pegrant? Am I pregnant or am I okay? Could I be pregonate? How do I know if I'm prengan? Can I be pregnant? Can u get pregante?
So Tilly responds, no, but she does want it as soon as possible so she can tell William that it's all stitched up. Now, what this basically means, what it's code for, is that she wants to seal the deal and get married ASAP because she thinks he's going to leave her if she doesn't lock him down. So we see that kind of insecurity, and you'll see that throughout this chapter and the next and onwards, our kind of respect or our kind of admiration for Gertrude's kind of wiliness, her you know, shrewdness and her industriousness, it just sharply declines because more often than not she becomes the butt of the joke a lot of the times, and rightfully so. She kind of like earns that place as the butt of the joke because her character just declines. But anyway, we see Molly refusing to move out of the way of the fire, and she hits Tilly. So once again, it's arguably a symbol for Tilly's self-sabotage by pushing Teddy away, but I don't really think that that's what's happening. I don't agree with it, but there is kind of enough evidence there for you to make that point if you really want to at any point for one of your essays. So now's probably a good time to talk about Molly's delusions. So she talks about how Tilly, quote-unquote, killed her possum. And we see that she has this excessive sense of attachment to said possum because she mentions it a number of other times throughout the text, and she kind of believes that she has friends all around her that are invisible, that no one else can see. So it kind of suggests that Molly went mad as a result of isolation. Specifically in the case of the possum, there's this implication that she needed someone to nurture, and that nurturing role was taken away from her. So there's a little bit of a hint there as to what happened to her. Now, we also see Tilly getting really angsty, similarly, because Teddy says, oh, you should come, there are going to be children who, get gifts from Santa, and they're all running around shrieking. And she says, that would break my heart, after she closes the door on him. So there's an allusion to childhood trauma there. Yeah, so she's just not having a good time. She's having the worst time. So that is all for today, because it is a very short chapter. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something. And if you're wondering why there are all these extra clips inserted, it's because I just recently discovered the joy of using iMovie, because apparently I am a boomer in a Gen Z person's body. So yay. Kudos to me for tech literacy to some degree. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.